the airings.
Dr. Do,
Mixing sodas with the beerings.
Dr. Do,
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do.
This is the one right here, yo.
Throw your hands in the airings.
Dr. Do,
Mixing sodas with the beerings.
Dr. Do,
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do.
This is the one right here, yo.
You got
What is y'all, your social media platform artist and the host of the great YouTube channel. I'm your host, your one and the only Dr. Do here, y'all. How are we on the awesome Friday right here? You guys want a new story from me, your one and only pal Dr. Do here? Well, guess what? I've been wanting to do this video for like 5 years now. I've been working on this story and this court case for 5 years right here, y'all. I've been wanting to work on it for a while, and this is finally gonna happen. Today's video, we are looking into one of the most notorious court cases that ever happened back in the 90s. You know this story, you guys heard about it. It became one of the biggest court case stories back in the 90s, and not the biggest case in the 20th century. We're gonna be looking at the O.J. Simpson story right here, y'all. This story video, I'm gonna tell y'all this story is hiding a secret, alright? A dark secret that many people are not talking about. This is a story I've been wanting to work on for a while. I watched many documentary, many history videos, and all the evidence it got me to believe that this is a story I've been wanting to cover right here. So before we get this video started, you guys new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit notifications down below and comment down below what you guys think about this video right here, y'all. If you guys want Dr. Do merch, go to Carter Bureau to get you guys Dr. Do shirts, drinkware, hatware like this one right here, and also try to get yourself something good, because coming soon we're going to release the Halloween Dr. Do merch soon, alright y'all? On October, get ready. Y'all, do you guys want something that will give you enough hydrated energy and focus or protein? Go to Beat Chart to get you guys Dr. Do powders right here, everyone, because you guys need to have that for the whole entire day right here, y'all. So without further ado, let's get this party started. So for the past 5 years, I've been watching and learning about this story for a long time about O.J. Simpson, that would claim to be the one who murdered none other than Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman right here. In June 12, 13, the LAPD discovered the bodies of both Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman outside of Nicole Brown's backyard condo. Alright, y'all? And this is a pretty interesting one right here, because from June 13 till June 17, the LAPD tried to figure out who had been responsible for the murders of both men and women right here. And their prime suspect was O.J. Simpson, because when you think of O.J. Simpson, he was a former Buffalo Bill running back from 1969 to 1978. Alright, y'all? He became popular on broadcast, video, and movies like Naked Gun, you guys heard of right here, y'all. And this is a story about that, right? So on June, we know the notorious story back in June 17, the Bronco run from the LAPD where he got arrested and stuff, and then he went on trial from June 24 till June 3rd, 1995. And this case has been talked about a lot, but what many people don't know is that there was someone that in fact murdered Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Actually, it turned out to me it wasn't really OJ at all. More like he didn't murder them, but actually he covered a murder case from the LAPD. What if I tell you O.J. Simpson was hiding someone from the LAPD and been hiding him ever since until O.J. passing back in last year itself? And the truth is, the real person who did it is none other his son, Jason Simpson. Why I say Jason Simpson's story? I look at his case, I look at his whole entire history. I'm like, why does no one even look at his story? Really? Why didn't the LAPD look at his story, his background story? Why didn't they? Because I've been looking at this guy's story for a while, alright? I look at some evidence, I look at the evidence, and his whole entire case makes sense. Because when you think about it, ever since O.J. passing, people are now speculating about this story, about this case that when nobody had even barely talked about right here, y'all. because on that day when OJ was was pleaded not guilty, I saw an image of OJ's son looking at him, staring blankly like this. I'm like, when I look at that image, I'm like, what? Are you not happy? Are you not excited that your dad wasn't found not guilty? When I look at him, it looked like he is worried or scared or something about to happen to him, because well, I tell you that he is responsible for the murders of both Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. You gotta be like, why would O.J. Simpson's son would ever do something like that? Because when you think about it, because I found a lot of history and his criminal background actually, with the LAPD had never looked into. You also look at the evidence of what happened to him on that day right here. Because his alibi, what turned out to be false, that some argue about that, because there was a book about who really took out the Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown story. I found a great interesting about that, because what if I found something that you might interest, alright? There were plenty of story right here. So here's the first story, a reason why he could have been doing this, alright? So there was a video about one of Nicole Brown's friends had talked about someone that was watching Nicole Brown outside. It turned out it wasn't actually OJ at all. It turned out that Nicole Brown told her friend that it was Jason that had been watching them. Alright? I'm like, why would Jason kept his eye on Nicole Brown without being suspected? Alright? And then also they've been having a lot of incident about Jason's story, because I found something about Jason on this book right here, alright? Because around the time from 1992, there was an incident that the crime people, the police have not looked into about Jason crime records, alright? Because in 1992, he attacked 4 different people right here, 4 different individuals. One his former girlfriend's friend. It was said that he cut one of their hairs off, and then there was another incident that led him to a 2-year probation when he almost attempted to stab one of his former co-workers in his previous job right here. All right, and then he also, the reason for that is because he had anger disorder, which he was born with. Because anytime he sees something that nobody interest or equal argument, he would be easily be angry. All right, easily get angry. So he would take this prescription or depocority. Sorry, hard for me to read this. The prescription, which helped him ease his anger, like prevent his anger to get worse. But however, during the 2 months before the murders, his girlfriend told the police that he stopped taking them just 2 months before the prior of the murders right here. This is a good evidence right here. This is a good example about Jason's background right here. This is the thing that we should look into, because he get angry easily. And also what else happened on the night as well, because he had hold on. You guys wondering what does it mean for him? What does he have reason to take her out and Ron Goldman? Well, the truth is, on that night, June 12th, Nicole Brown and her kid were supposed to go to Jason Simpson restaurant because he was preparing for them to come and eat over there. But unfortunately, Nicole Brown had to call Jason and tell them that they are rescheduling their meeting with them. So Nicole Brown and her kid decided to go to Ron Goldman's restaurant. You see right here, this is where we see something like that, alright? When you think about it, Jason had been wanting to do something for Nicole Brown for a while. He been preparing to get some attention from her because he wants something that he needs, like attention. He wants to show some respect to her, but however, changing restaurant and plan to go to Jason instead of go Ron Goldman's restaurant, this is where you might see some problem with that, because Jason Simpson I see that he could be angry about that. furious, frustrated with Nicole Brown's decision of going to her friend's restaurant over her former stepson restaurant. When you think about it, that could make him trigger so badly that it caused him to be angry and frustrated with her. Alright? And so the time right here. So at 9, there was a story, an alibi Jason had made up, saying that he left at 10 to go meet with his girlfriend, go watch TV, and join the night together. But however, there was a story that wasn't the case right here. The alibi wasn't really actually true, because there was a dishwasher, one of the workers who worked over there, saw Jason left at 9:30. Alright, 30 minutes before 10, which another thing that with the LAPD have failed to look into that story right here. Alright, so and then there was and they also get this. He didn't put it on his time card. He didn't put it on the time card thing. He wrote it down on a paper. Alright, saying he left at 9:30 and never had it, which never had been. Alright, he left at 9:30. Okay, because when you think about it, he left there just a couple minutes before it. Alright, so when you look at that time thing right here, that could mean that what was he doing around 9:30 until 12? You get what I mean? People were wondering about what was he really doing on that night, because there was a witnesses that had saw a black Jeep, not a Bronco at all. They saw a black Jeep outside of the courtyard right there. Okay, and when you look at this way, who had a black Jeep? Jason Simpson. Alright? What was Jason Simpson actually doing over there? To me, the reason for that, because he had been frustrated on that night. I believe that he left at 9:30 to go see Nicole Brown and talk with her. And talk to her and ask her why didn't she come to his restaurant. And so there was some sort of argument between Jason and Nicole. I felt like Jason was about to leave, but all of a sudden he saw Wall Gorman. Alright? When you think about that, seeing somebody that Nicole Brown knows and the one who went to the restaurant, you'd be like, what is he doing here? Like, I see Jason get furious when he saw Ron Goldman. Alright? To me, that when he see Ron Goldman, Jason could have flipped out about it. He's like, will you explain to me why was he doing here, Nicole? I think there were and then the argument got even worse, because we see, instead of when they continued talking and arguing, they started a fight, and that fight caused butchering murder right here. Because when you think about it, OJ had no experience of fighting, because he was too old to fight Ron Goldman, because Ron Goldman had kung fu experience, like martial arts experience. But however, Jason Simpson has military academy experience, because he went to a military academy, and also he had night experience in the military academy, which it could be another key evidence of him being the one who took out Ron Goldman, because they both had fighting experience. Okay, and I see that they could have been some sort of punching and bruising against each other, because there was one of the witnesses said that they saw bruising on Jason Simpson's body, like all over right here, or even including on the arm and stuff. All right, which is why you don't see no bruises on OJ Simpson right here, y'all. Okay, and that fight caused Jason Simpson to take out Ron Goldman with his knife, because he brought knives with him right after leaving the work, because they found a knife of Jason Simpson storage, and that knife could have been used on the night of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman's. Alright, and also they said there was a note right here that said, this is the year of the knife. He basically saying he ready to hurt somebody. Alright, but we don't know. At that time we don't know that who was he going to use that knife on, and he used that knife on both Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Alright, and that make him worry, because when you think about it, we could have found some blood. There were blood all over the place, including a blood that wasn't connected to OJ or Ron Goldman, they both were not B types. Not even Nicole Brown blood type wasn't even B. And who had blood type B? Yeah. And you guys wondering, what was OJ part of this story, of the case right here? Well, the truth is, right after Jason Simpson took their lives, he basically ran to his car, alright? He ran to his car in a black Jeep and basically called his dad and tell him about what happened. And I see that OJ Simpson was like, son, what do you do? I felt like OJ is like shocked to see what Jason Simpson had done over there. And I see that OJ had to cover that whole entire story up because there was so much blood all over the whole entire yard. Alright, y'all? And the gloves he wore had too much blood, so he had to take one of them off, and also a sock. The cut part, I think he cut himself on a fence while they try to get rid of some of his shoe and his gloves on that day, right? On that night, alright? Which is why you see some mishandling evidence of the OJ Simpson case, alright? And also, when you think about that, it could make more sense about about this case, alright? And also, another thing about this, because just a day after this story came out on the news, OJ Simpson would actually try to hire a lawyer to help Jason Simpson court case. There was supposed to be OJ was planning on having a lawyer to defend Jason Simpson just in case the story go crazy and the LAPD would suspect Jason Simpson doing something like that. Alright? So we are getting to the point of that, but until then, LAPD does not believe that the LAPD believe that OJ is the main suspect because of his abusement with Nicole Brown during their time of wedding. But however, Jason had more violent crimes than what OJ had done. Think about that, alright? And this is the crazy thing I ever seen about that, because why is the LAPD still continue to ignore this evidence right here? Well, I felt like OJ is basically kind of bribing some investigator and hiding the story about Jason background story and the things that his son had done during his time in 1992 and 1994 right here, y'all. And also, we saw a video of Jason trying to talk to his dad in the Bronco car. I felt like there was something about that. I felt like Jason would try to tell him that, Dad, I could try to do something, alright? I will try to convince them to take me instead. I felt like they were arguing about the fact that Jason would plan on turning himself in, but OJ told him, no, don't do it, or something like that, okay? And I felt like that OJ had took the fall for his son deeds, his murders right here, because all that thing that OJ had done to Nicole Brown, they see more evidence of him doing something like that to his former ex-wife, unlike his son right here. And also the motivation, he wants attention for Nicole Brown, because no matter what he trying to do for Nicole Brown, she keep on annoying him or something like that. And also been talking with Ron Goldman a lot more than talking about her son, which it could make more sense about that, because I know for the fact that Jason's motive of taking Ron Goldman's life, it makes sense about that, because he was actually jealous of Ron Goldman, because Ron Goldman got more attention with Nicole Brown than Jason Simpson, alright? Which it could cause him to have some sort of anger trigger right here, man. It's crazy to see a boy like himself doing something like that. He basically continued to try to hide it to this day, but right after the OJ passing, people like me have been seeing more stories and evidence about Jason's history right here, which been seeing more video like this all over social media now. I felt like Jason is basically going to be being looked into pretty soon, alright? I feel like Jason is going to be, like, at this point, either continue hiding from the public media, or he could just turn himself in now that his father passed away. I feel like he's going to be more worried about his whole entire career, all the things he's been doing for the past decades, right here, y'all. Which I felt like this is one of the biggest stories I want people to look into, and I want y'all to know that right here, everyone. Oh yeah, there were other evidence that with OJ had done right here, y'all, because I found out that in the picture he had a black cap, and also he wore it in the image he had in the books and stuff, in the photos. But however, right after Nicole Brown and Jason and Ron Goldman, he wore a different cap, alright? And the cap is gray, with making more sense about Jason story right here, because there were dark hair inside the black kid kneecap right here, y'all. And also in the picture, you could see that there was a dog in his photo, which make more sense about Jason's motivation of taking them out right there, y'all. Which it could be a big, huge key evidence about that, because we see OJ don't wear caps right here, but Jason does. You see where I'm going here, y'all? There you have it. This is the video I want y'all to know about. And I hope y'all have a great day. Please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget down below and comment down below. We see what you guys think. Alright, I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time right here, y'all. Peace out.